The Boston Celtics just did what the entire NBA was afraid of. They upgraded their bench without giving up any rotation pieces. They're 41 and 12, 5 games ahead of anybody else. Their net rating is so off the charts, it's absolutely insane. I mean, they are two-thirds of the NBA ahead of everybody else. It's crazy. They're number one in offensive rating, number three in defensive rating, seventh in opponents' points per game, and fifth in points per game. They got the best duo in the league, potentially, with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I mean, hey, this team, they are winning games. Brad Stevens has engineered a masterpiece in Boston. He did it yet again at the deadline, bringing in Xavier Tillman and Jade Springer. Both of these guys, I think, can be an impact to this Celtics rotation. We'll start off with Jaden Springer because this guy, he is an elite defender. I did a little bit more research on him. Obviously, I went back looking at my notes at him coming out of college. He hasn't really played that much for the Sixers, but the kid can really defend. Look at that! Taking flight. He's only averaging 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal in 12 minutes. But hey, per 36, he's averaging 3 steals per game. I mean, look at this. That's his favorite move, is that chase down block. He's got some ups as well. I think this is going to be a guy that really fits in to this Boston rotation. I see him digging down here on Podziemski. He's going to be a guy that can really fit into this Boston rotation off the bench. There he is guarding Jayson Tatum. I mean, he can guard really the 1 through 4 probably. I mean, Tatum's a solid 6'8", so he's going to be a nice addition, very welcome here to help that bench unit out. And then they also bring in Xavier Tillman, who's averaging 6 points, 4.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.2 blocks in 20 minutes a game for the Grizzlies this year. Tillman goes from one of the worst teams in the West to one of the best teams in the East. Looking at the updated bench, it's a whole lot better than what it was before, in my opinion at least. You still have Cornette and Keita still, getting some minutes here and there, but I love the additions made at the deadline, and that is something the NBA didn't want to see, was the best team in the league getting better via the use of second-round picks. So, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but they did get a little bit better, and they're already 5 games better than everybody else. The two superstars that they have with Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, you see the stats there for Tatum. His points per game are a little bit down from last year, but the wins are up. They say if you get to 40 wins before 20 losses, you're looking good. And, the points per game is also down because they added in 2 more guys that can give you 20 on any given night. 47% from the field, 36% from 3 on 8.4 attempts is what I want to look at, though. That is not ideal. He's 6'8", 210 pounds, and shoots at 75% from 3 feet. To 0 feet from the basket. He needs to be getting downhill. He needs to finish at the rim, like right here, instead of thinking he's Steph Curry and shooting from 40 feet. I think he'd be much more efficient if he just got downhill and used his body more often. Jaylen Brown averaging 22 points, 5.6 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.1 steals per game this year. Another solid year, but like I said, points per game is down, the wins are up. And if you're a winning player, you will not care about your points per game as long as you're the best team in the league. And again, you add 2 guys that can go for 20 on any given night, the points per game is definitely going to come down. 50% shooting from the field, 35% from 3 on 5.7 attempts in 35 minutes a game for Drew this year. So, Jaylen Brown. So overall, another good season. Would like to see the 3-point percentage come up a little bit, because if something is going to kill him in the playoffs, it's going to be the Killer Jays thinking they can shoot. Now, the real number 2 option, I think, is going to be Kristaps Porzingis. They are 10-1 when he scores more than 25 points. And I think come playoff time, he's going to be the real mismatch nightmare if he stays healthy. And that's the biggest if. He's done a great job so far. That was the biggest X factor for the Celtics coming into the season. We're 53 games in, and he's been healthy as an ox, knock on wood. 20.4 points per game, 7 rebounds, couple blocks as well on 53% shooting from the field, 36% from 3 on 5 attempts. Really solid. One knock I will say about the Celtics is that starting lineup, their best 3 players are all 36% or less from the 3-point line. Looking at Porzingis' per 36 numbers, though, because he only plays 30 minutes a game, he'd be second on the team in both points and blocks if he was to play the full, allotted time. Now, real quick, make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below if you are enjoying today's video on, how the NBA is now scared of the Boston Celtics after they upgraded at the deadline. Make sure to the like button, like I said, we're trying to hit 100 likes, and hit that subscribe button. It'll really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, let's go and continue on looking at the elite guard play that Boston has. I mean, these 2 guys bring the clamps. Then you add Jaden Springer off the bench. 3 really, really good defensive guards in Boston. Anyways, Drew Holiday coming over from the Bucks, now in a new role in Boston, and he is thriving. 13.3 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 4.6 assists in 34 minutes per game. And again, the points per game is down, but he went from being the second option, with Chris Middleton being hurt for a large majority last year, to the fourth option. He's being as efficient as he can be, which is all you can ask. 44% from 3-on-4 attempts, 48% from the field overall. Drew's been really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him in a Boston uniform. Derek White is another guy that has been solid as well. Another really good defender on the perimeter. He also plays a lot of point guard. Actually averages more assists than Drew at 4.9, averaging 15.3 points per game on the year, 3.8 rebounds as well in 32 minutes a game. Derek White, another guy that's, he does a little bit of everything. He's kind of that fifth guy, that glue guy, the connector. Really efficient, a block and a steal and a half per game, 6.7 attempts from the three-point line, and he's shooting almost 40%. So that's one thing you will see here in Boston. The role guys can really shoot it, being Drew Holiday, being Derek White, Al Horford, Sam Hauser. All these guys can really shoot it. Looking at the bench, the top three options, Al, Peyton Pritchard, and Sam Hauser. Al Horford on the year, 7.8 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 1 block. Still getting it done. He's like 87 years old, but he's still producing 47% shooting from the field, 40% from 3-on-4 attempts in 27 minutes a game. Really good stuff there from Al Horford. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And then Sam Hauser, 8.3 points per game for him, 3.3 rebounds, 1 assist for the 26-year-old. Both Hauser and Peyton Pritchard, 26 years old, so they're becoming nice young role players for this Celtics team at a young age. And then the big thing there for Hauser, 41% from the three-point line on 5 attempts per game in 22 minutes. And then Peyton Pritchard, final guy here, he's averaging about 8 points per game as well. 2.8 rebounds, 3.2 assists for the 26-year-old. Like I said, both of those guys, nice young pieces for this Celtics squad. Only 37% from 3, but 43% from the field overall. He was shooting it close to 40% from the 3 earlier in the year. They also have, like we said earlier, Cornette and Queta, but like I said, I don't think they will get as much PT here with Xavier Tillman now in a Boston Celtics jersey. I think he will take the majority of the minutes. Jaden Springer also. Both of those guys, hey, I've said it a couple times, but they upgraded this roster without losing anybody, and that's the biggest thing I think they needed to do, because I was worried about their depth a little bit. But their starting 5, they probably got top 3 starting lineup in the league, and only because the Nuggets exist that they're not number 1. Looking at their outlook, they got Brooklyn twice, Chicago, so that should be 3 easy dubs. Should be able to beat New York, but it is at New York. And then Philadelphia, Dallas, Golden State will be tough games, but nothing crazy. Like I said, they're 5 games better than anybody else in the league, 6 games better than anybody in the East, and that is the upstart Cavs at that. So I think the Celtics are really good. The league was not liking what they did at the deadline. I will tell you that. They're a little bit scared of that for sure. Make sure to like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. Like I said, we're trying to hit 100 likes on today's video. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.